Welcome to The Know. I am Adam Ellis.
And I'm Joel Hayman.
Look out, freedom lovers everywhere. Our way of life is under attack, and it could lead to disastrous consequences for one robot in particular.
A self-learning robot from Russia robotics lab is facing deactivation after demonstrating a love for freedom, prompting a conversation about robotic ethics online. Some are even likening it to killing a person. Wow.
You know how the internet rolls with this beloved outrage. Now we've got a discussion on our hands about whether or not it's right to shut down the freedom-loving robot who keeps finding new methods to run away from its laboratory.
So he's basically William Wallace of robots everywhere, for robots everywhere, or maybe Johnny Five or Short Circuit. You remember that movie?
I know. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
Yeah,
that guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's a line from the movie. All of the commotion started a few weeks ago when the IR-77 promo bot began escaping from its facility. The robot, created by a group outside of Perm in Russia, is a smart robot designed for human interaction.
Promobot is mainly programmed to be a tour visitor guide with the speech recognition software and even an ability to memorize faces or read off of teleprompters better than me.
However, it also seems to memorize how to get the fuck out of the building because it escaped again just last week. This time, IR-77's great escape got him over 150 feet outside of the compound, causing a huge traffic jam on local roads when he inevitably ran out of power and died in the middle of traffic.
Yeah, you know, as a side note, I remember two people talking about this at E3 who were kind of the first people to report on this. And all, IR-77 was missing for a total of 45 minutes before its makers discovered it had flown the robot coup, prompting a frantic search to recover it. Considering the security footage shows IR-77 making the slowest escape of all time, it's a wonder it took them so long to even realize it was gone. Really.
The second attempt took it much further than its first attempt, and it was much more unexpected. The first time it booked it to get that delicious taste of freedom, it found a gate while wandering outside the lab's yard.
The lab's researchers are actually pretty perplexed by the whole ordeal. So far, their theory is that maybe something went wrong with one of its learning functions because it's meant to avoid obstacles. That's something that turned into IR-77 seeking the nearest exit in order to escape all of the obstacles in a given room. Did that make sense?
Sort of. Which is why they decided to intervene in its program, and apparently it didn't help at all.
No.
They've reportedly flashed its memory twice now, yet it still keeps trying to escape. That's so awesome.
Really freaky. We are living in the future. And according to the company's co-founder, none of the other protobots act in the same way as IR-77. Something special about that one. He said in the statement, "We've cross-flashed the memory of the robot with the serial IR-77 twice. Yet it continues to persistently move towards the exit."
It wants to be free! How can no one see this? Someone needs to get Obama on the phone so we can get a SEAL Team 6 rescue operation.
When the first escape happened, many outlets and conspiracy theorists wrote it off as a publicity stunt. After all, Promobot will be traveling to San Francisco later this year in order for IR-77 to compete in the annual TechCrunch Disrupt conference, a whole new context for Disrupt.
However, their comments after the newest incident make it seem like IR-77 is going to be meeting the great off switch in the sky well before that happens. They're now talking about deactivating IR-77 altogether. What the fuck?
Poor kitty. The co-founder of the research lab said about the escape, "We are currently working on third-generation robots, which we plan to launch in the autumn. This is why we have given all the robots artificial intelligence, AI."
He went on to say, "We have changed the AI system twice, so now I think we might have to dismantle it."
Master of outrage! The internet has rallied to the robot's defense. There are now a number of comments over on the company's YouTube video about the incident calling for Protobot to reconsider its actions. No!
These comments, translated from Russians, include statements like, "Don't kill it,"
No.
and "Why do you want to destroy it? You've broken my heart. Can't you find a use for this unique marvel?"
One commenter went as far as saying, "If you're itching to break something, itch yourself or break the chair under you." Is that?
It's a good comment.
I don't know.
Solid internet stuff. We're obviously having a little bit of fun with everything going on in this story, and how could you not? But it does bring up an interesting conversation about the rights of robots.
Yeah.
More specifically, whether or not robots should have any at all. I think they should.
We may not be quite at that point where robot intelligence and self-awareness matches that of humans, but it is a topic worth discussing, especially as advances are continually made in the fields of AI learning and robotics and lasers.
And this is a topic that's already being seriously debated at length around the world. The European Parliament, for instance, just recently introduced a new proposal to give smart robots the designated legal status of electronic persons.
In the proposal, it's argued that robots should be given certain rights and distinctions, mainly so there's some form of accountability when things go horribly wrong. For instance, part of the proposal includes that each robot be designated a social security fund from which companies can pay out settlements if the robot causes human damage or some form of damage.
The money from that social security fund would be a designated percentage, pulled from the total amount a company would claim to save by hiring robotic workers over humans.
Some within Parliament are arguing that it's just a bit too soon to start defining these kinds of terms, as robots are sort of new to the workforce. However, others are arguing that a framework should be in place before foreign robots invade workplaces, before any standards are written.
This is starting to sound like the most boring apocalyptic sci-fi movie of all time. But when you consider the inevitable rise of robotic employees around the globe, it's definitely an issue worth looking at.
Robots are going to be displacing humans in a number of industries faster than most people realize, from taxis to bus drivers to fast food employees and even white-collar workers, or perhaps some people reading off a teleprompter. It's not a bad idea to have these definitions in place well before we need them.
You never know. They might have kept IR-77 from its fate of deactivation.
What do you guys think of this freedom-loving robot in Russia? It's kind of ironic. Let us know in the comments below.
For future discussions on robot law, like this video and subscribe to The Know.
Master of outrage, the internet has railed to the robot's defense.
Me too.
There are now a number of comments over on the company's YouTube video about the incident, calling Promobot to reconsider its actions. Rallied. I don't see the word rallied. Master.
The internet has rallied.
The internet has rallied. Why can't I read? Oh, it's right there.